Everybody, hurry!
To Mom Cave Live, where we may have lost our minds, but we haven't lost our sense of humor. Hi, I'm Jen, and I'm here with Tirralan Watkins, who is the Tinseltown Mom. And hi, I'm gonna go live on all the platforms. So give me one second. Let's see if it goes live on the Instagram as well. Maybe we'll.
Oh, wow.
Okay, there we are. So, hi. Tell everybody how you became Tinseltown Mom.
Well, it started when I was just a child.
Of course, it always
I was just
does.
a daughter. So growing up, I was always pursuing acting. I'm from the Bay Area. So in the Bay Area, I was doing theater and commercials and everything that I could do in the Bay Area. But we all know that the capital of the entertainment industry is Hollywood.
Totally, yes.
So after I got my undergrad degree in communications, I decided to move to Los Angeles to pursue my acting career further. Mm-hmm. So as I was pursuing my acting career, and I'm not telling the full story because it's so long. So of course, as you're pursuing a career, you dabble into other things. So at the time, I started my own talk show, a local talk show called Life Impact. It was like on a cable access station.
Yes,
so
but before the internets.
Yes,
cable access.
Yes, do you remember cable access?
Yeah.
So I was doing my show on cable access 20 plus years ago. And actually my first Tinseltown Mom before I became Tinseltown Mom was Sherry Shepherd. It was before she was a mom as well, but she was my first.
Your first guest.
Yeah, for my show.
Very cool.
I did the show, I interviewed like an Olympian, some other actresses, comedians, etc. While I was still pursuing my acting career. But eventually, at my church, I decided to join a small writing group called Write On. And there is where I met my husband, who was pursuing a directing career. So anywho, long story short, we eventually got married. I went back to school, USC, got a master's in professional writing. And that is where I started writing, blogging, and eventually I started my own blog, which my husband came up with the name Tinseltown Mom, because I was a mom at the time. We lived in La La Land. He's pursuing his entertainment career and mine.
You were right in the middle of all of that.
Yes. So that's how I became Tinseltown Mom.
Awesome. Well, if you're just joining us, this is Tirralan Watkins, known as Tinseltown Mom, and she has interviewed so many celebrities and high-profile moms, successful in anything from business to medicine to, of course, the acting world. And so that's what I kind of want to ask you about.
Okay.
And everybody who's watching, feel free to jump in, ask anything in the comments. This is all just for us to hang out and get the dirt, really. We need to get the dirt.
Yeah.
So is there any common thread you saw? What made all of the successful women that you interviewed alike in some way? Something in common?
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like they all had something in their background that they had to overcome in some way, because like to get to the status that these high profile moms get to, it's not just a walk in the park. Like you have to overcome some things. You have to develop grit and all these other things that you have to develop to get to the status level that they're at. So I feel like all of these women, these moms, went through something challenging for them to be able to actually break through and get to that next level. Sometimes people go through things, whether it's, traumatic or just a challenge in their career, and they stop and they don't keep pursuing that thing. But if you can actually go through it and just keep going and keep your eye on, the thing, that passion or whatever, like I feel like you can break through, and then you can help someone else along the way because you went through something that they might be going through.
Yeah. Well, when you look at, that's a good answer. When you look at these people in magazines and such, they just look so happy and perfect and well rested and all of the things that we don't feel, put together. that it's easy to forget that every human being has their story, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've interviewed people who, like, for example, I mentioned Sherry. She's been homeless, plus some other things that she went through. I've interviewed moms, they've gone through infertility, just sexual trauma, and having to overcome that and still pursuing, their passions, just all kinds of things. But they didn't even let that stop them from, going ahead in life and doing the thing that they feel that they were called to do.
Right. Well, even in your story, I think it's interesting. You often start out feeling called to do one thing, and then for some reason or other, you pivot in life.
Yes.
What was for you like the deciding factor when you decided I'm going to go back to school and be a writer? I'm gonna pivot, as they say.
So honestly, I don't want to sound like a prude, and I might sound like
That's okay. That's okay. We have people of all sorts here.
Yes. So because of my background, being a Christian and just having certain standards and things that I would and would not do, like I came to find that there were too many things on the screen that I didn't want to do.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I should just write about the things that I want to do.
Okay.
So even when I went back to school, like I double majored in screenwriting and also fiction. So I thought I was going to pursue the screenwriting, which I still would like to pursue one day, but I have so many things on my plate. I started thinking, let me just write things that I would want to be in, I would want to promote, and things like that. So that's what kind of got me interested in the writing aspect of it. And then, just being in that small writing group, like with my husband, because he's like a very proficient, he's an excellent writer. It just kind of made that passion grow in me.
Okay.
So, yeah, it just kept going from there.
I think that's a good lesson in sometimes you start out in something and you don't know all the ins and outs of it, or what's lines you might have to cross that maybe you're not comfortable crossing, or things that just don't align with you, whether it's for a religious reason or moral reason or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you have to do I change everything now? And is that okay in life?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
That's rough. But you did it. That's awesome. Now I have to ask, do you ever work with your husband? Do you ever write together?
We would like to write together one day.
One day.
But as far as working, you know what? Actually, we did produce a clean comedy event several years ago.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, I was a producer. He wrote it. Yeah, I'm just thinking about it. Yeah, we did work together, actually.
And you're still married.
And we're still married, yeah. It was challenging, though. It was challenging at first because you have to learn how that person works and incorporate your personality with theirs.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. And also his thesis, because he has a master's in film at USC. So I helped him on the thesis with his final project. I was a producer on the project.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Like, so you digging way back in my brain. Yeah, we have worked together. But we would like to do some more projects in the future.
Right. My husband and I have worked together in several different capacities. We've been actors in films together. We've attempted to write things together, and we were real estate agents together. And let me tell you, it was a disaster.
Wait, did you guys pursue the same careers at the same time?
Yeah, well, we met in acting school in college, and then we were actors. And then, of course, we needed money because we were actors.
Yeah.
And so we both decided to go and become real estate agents. And then we got hired at the same office. And then they said, oh, you're married. You should be a team. And man, that was challenging, because to be 24/7 working with the person that, it's nice to go home to someone who wasn't with you working all day and have to talk to about something else, right?
Yeah. And you guys were still actors at the time too, doing real estate during the day?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was a ways back. So we don't do that anymore. But
that's so funny. I got my real estate license too.
Yeah.
When I was, I think, doing the acting thing. Yeah, because you're thinking, what can I do that's flexible? I can still go on auditions and things like that.
Yeah. And that kind of brings us also to the life of motherhood. So when you add a kid, you have to find a way to make a living that fits in around the all-encompassingness of being a mom.
Right.
do you when you interview all these really successful moms, how do they make it work? How do they be a good mom but still work?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of them they all have different stories because I asked that question, as far as the proverbial work-life balance.
Hmm.
And I feel like there's no one answer or no common thread.
Yeah.
Like some people, they make it work. Like some women who, let's say they're traveling, they may not see their child for a couple of months, but it works for them because they see them during some of the off months.
Right. That's right.
And some of them, they may take their children with them when they're on set and they're there with them.
Hmm.
So I feel like there's a lot of different answers with that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, especially I feel like when you have a high profile position, I mean, and honestly, most of them, they have like nannies and, people that's going to help them
Right.
balance it all.
Right.
Because, when you get to that level, you can afford to have that, and they hire help to help them. But I know like the everyday mom, a lot of them, they're just doing it on their own and they can't afford, a nanny or someone else. So it's a little different,
Well,
you
going
know.
back to like the everyday mom, all of us here watch
Yes.
these moms, and when we think, "Wow, she's doing so great," we have to remember that she might have a lot of help, and
Yeah.
yeah, so that's good, and when
Yeah.
we're there someday, we will too.
Yeah. And it's still hard, even though you have all that help, it's still hard, but it's
Right.
just different.
Different things that are difficult when you've got
Yes.
help.
Right.
Mhm.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite celebrity that you've interviewed?
Um, I've been asked this before. I think it's Sherry.
Yeah.
I've interviewed her twice. Yeah. She's actually a longtime friend from back in the day too. Um, but when I interview her, I feel like she's so authentic and real and funny. Like even the last time I interviewed her, like our interview went so long, like way over an hour. Like I had to like call her back because we were just like, she can just talk and just be transparent. And like in my mind, I'm like, oh, I'm definitely not gonna put that there. But she'll, she's so honest, like she just says what she wants to say. And I'm like, I'm definitely not gonna put this in the piece. Like I don't want to expose you. So
Yeah,
yeah.
how do we go here?
Huh?
How deep are we gonna go here?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I started off initially just focusing on celebrity moms, but I've expanded it to just high profile moms, moms at the top of their game in their career.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, there's so much crossover too. In our world today, it's not like movie stars, other people now. It's movie stars that start businesses and business people that get reality shows. And
yes, I know.
Right?
Yeah. Like I feel like a lot of businesses, there's high profile businesses even.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can be a celebrity designer, a celebrity chef, a celebrity shoe shiner. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like in any field, like you can elevate it to that level.
I think that the internet and social media sort of gave us that, which you might not have had before. Yeah. Okay. And tell me about your kids. How old are they?
Yes, my kids I have two boys. They're 13 and 14, soon to be 15.
Oh, wow.
Two teenagers, yes, going into 8th and 10th grade.
Wow. Yes. Well, not only do you look too young for that, but
I know. I look like a teenager. I know. I get that all the time.
My oldest is about to turn 13, so about the same as one of yours. Yeah, the teen years are going to be a quite a ride. I can tell already.
Yeah, can't you tell that you feel like it's going by too fast once they hit the teen years?
Of course, I know it's a cliche, but it's totally cliche because it's true.
Yeah, you start thinking about how many more years you have at home with them.
Right.
Like I feel like,
And then what will you do when they're not at home? Like we have a whole life ahead of us.
Yes.
After that, so that's the whole challenge in and of itself.
Well, I think that's why it's good for moms to have passions outside their kids too.
Of course.
Because some moms, when their kids graduate or go off, they feel like they don't have anything for themselves.
Right. And you don't want to have lost all the things you were interested in the meantime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's really good stuff. Can you tell everybody where they can find you on all the social media platforms, etc.?
Yes. So you can find me at tinseltownmom.com. I also have a podcast, Timeout with Tinseltown Mom. You can find that on all the platforms. And I have an online shop, accessories for women, that I sell. Yeah, on Etsy.
Like accessory?
Like tote bags,
Oh, okay.
phone cases,
Fun.
AirPod cases, things like that.
Very fun, because you know your kid is going to steal half of those things, so you're going to need a new one.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right. And if you get one that's mom themed, maybe they won't steal it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I have a lot of mom themed stuff on there. So
that's great. Well, thank you so much for talking with me and sharing a little bit of what it's like to talk to all of these high profile women. And I hope we can do this again soon.
Yes, I hope so. Thank you, Jen.
Thank